So I want to debunk some of the most common arguments by racist scousers that Gerrard should be above Salah. Their most common argument is that Gerrard played with a much worse team, so he had to carry this worse team. This argument makes absolutely no sense. Like, carrying a team should only matter if you carry them to something. If you don't carry them to anything, there's no point of this. The only major title that Liverpool ever won with Gerrard was the Champions League in 2005. And Luis Garcia was arguably as important as Steven Gerrard for that Champions League title. He did not single-handedly carry Liverpool for that Champions League title. Other than that, in many of the years that he was there, Liverpool didn't even make it into the Champions League. He wasn't able to carry Liverpool into the Champions League for many years. When he did have good teams, in 08-09 and 13-14, they came second in the league, and they didn't win anything. There's absolutely no point of saying that he carried Liverpool when he didn't carry them to jack shit. This is a pointless argument. Number 2, they even like to use this weak team excuse to downplay the fact that Salah is far more accomplished when it comes to individual awards. For example, Salah has 3 PFA Player of the Year awards. Gerrard only has 1. So their excuse is, Salah played on a much stronger team. It's so much easier for him to win the PFA Player of the Year. This excuse makes absolutely no sense. Gareth Bale, who played for fucking Spurs, has 2 PFA Player of the Year awards. Now, Gareth Bale's PFA Player of the Year award in 1011 was a bit weird. I don't know why he won it. But not many people have an issue with the fact that Gareth Bale won the PFA Player of the Year award in the 12-13 season. Because he carried Spurs into the Champions League spot with heroic performances, scoring a ton of last-minute winners, crazy long shots. He felt like a superhero that season. Playing on a weak team often actually makes it easier for you to seem like a hero, because it's easier to stand out when you have weak teammates. Anyway, downplaying the fact that Salah has 3 PFA awards, the most in Premier League history, to the fact that Gerrard only has 1, using the fact that he played on weak teams, is an absolutely brain-dead argument. Also, Salah's PFA Player of the Year awards were far more deserving than Gerrard's. Let's look at the year that Gerrard won his PFA Player of the Year award, okay? Gerrard won the PFA Player of the Year award in the 05-06 season. So let's look at the top scorers that year. The top 3 scorers were Henry, Van Nistelrooy, and Darren Bent, with 27 goals, 21 goals, and 18 goals. How many goals did Gerrard have that season? 10. Alright, that must mean that he was amazing creatively then. Let's check out the number of assists that season. So, Drogba led the league with 11 assists. Reyes came second with 10 assists. Rooney came third with 9 assists. How many assists did Gerrard have that season? 4 assists. How the fuck did this man even win the PFA Player of the Year award that season? He wasn't scoring. He wasn't creating. What is he winning the award for? We know that Gerrard's defensive input was not elite either. His defense for a midfielder was just decent. It wasn't like he was N'Golo Kante or Makelele. So he's not winning the award for that either. Clearly, this is a DEI award for white scousers. A DEI pity award. That's all it is. Gerrard did not deserve the PFA Player of the Year award. Liverpool didn't even win the league. Like, there's just no justification. They came third. Whether we're looking at it from a team perspective or individual perspective, he should have had nothing to do with the award that season. Now let's check out Salah's 3 PFA Player of the Year awards. For one of the awards, he was the top scorer in the league. For the other 2 awards, not only was he the top scorer in the league, he was also the top assister. Like, what are we doing here? Not only does Salah have more PFA Player of the Year awards, his PFA Player of the Year awards were far more deserving as well. And lastly, why do we act like Salah always played in an amazing team? He's played in Liverpool for 8 seasons now? 3 of the seasons, they were 4th place or below that. In 17-18, Liverpool came 4th. And Salah produced an all-timer season, one of the greatest seasons that the Premier League has ever seen. In 2-2-2-3 and 2-0-2-1, when Liverpool either struggled to make it into the Champions League spot or couldn't make it into the Champions League spot, he was still the top scorer of the team. So even when he was playing in not-so-great circumstances, he still put out great performances. He was Liverpool's top scorer in all 3 of these years, and he was also the team's top assister in 22-23. This is actually what carrying a team looks like. Like, Gerrard supposedly carries a team, but nobody can actually say how he carried a team, because he's just a mediocre player. So they can only say, he lifted the team through his leadership. But there is no quantitative evidence that he actually did that. And so they just use this carrying a weak team narrative to gaslight everyone. This is just racist scouser propaganda. Salah is far better in every way, whether we look at team achievements or individual achievements. But racist scousers can't stand the idea of a Muslim player being above their favorite white scouser. So they make up this bullshit nonsense. And not only that, they pretend it isn't controversial. They act like you're fucking dumb if you rate Salah above Gerrard, when clearly Salah is far above Gerrard. Here is BBC sports journalist, Liverpool-based BBC sports journalist, complaining that there are fans who are rating Salah above Gerrard. You're supposed to be a sports journalist and you are triggered that your current legend is being rated above another supposed legend of the club? So fans aren't allowed to rate one legend above another legend? It has to be the white man over the Muslim man or you're triggered? What sort of sports journalist are you? Just call yourself a racist and get it over with. And then the reaction towards Carragher's despicable actions towards Salah is also racist to the core. Carragher is clearly taking the piss here. He clearly has a ridiculous agenda against Salah. A bitter agenda. He literally said 2 years ago, Salah should be top 3 if he wins another PFA Player of the Year and he wins another league. Salah did both of those things and he ends up ranking him 6th. And then when pressed on the issue, he said that, I changed my mind because Salah doesn't do enough off the pitch. What the fuck is that even supposed to mean? So it doesn't matter when Steven Gerrard put in multiple transfer requests to go to Chelsea, but what Salah does off the pitch matters? And even if we talk about off the pitch, how can we ignore the fact that Salah is literally one of the most charitable athletes there are in world football? Carragher is clearly taking the piss here. He's being a piece of shit. And this should be obvious to everyone. But scousers, because they are so offended by the idea of the fact that many people think that a Muslim man is better than their favorite white player, they side with Carragher, even though they know he's being a disingenuous piece of shit. Here's Redman TV journalist. Oh, we should respect Salah's opinion. Everyone has an opinion. Fuck off. This is an opinion. He clearly has a fucking bitter, disingenuous agenda. And everyone should be calling him out for it. Scousers only aren't calling him out for it because they're racist pieces of shit who can't stand the fact that a Muslim man is better than their favorite white hero. That's all there is to it. I'm not a Liverpool fan, but this pisses me off because this is racism to the core. I, frankly speaking, don't even care about Salah, but the club disrespecting him like this, and not only disrespecting him like this, but for all the major scouser media to then stand behind this humiliation is disgusting. It's completely nonsensical. Any unbiased person should realize what's going on here. And thankfully, the vast majority of international fans I've seen online are against this. Because we are in 2026, we aren't in 1700 anymore. The world is more interconnected than ever, and we should not take the shit anymore.